Advanced, whipped in delivery, pulls it back, and it's in! Ramirez on hand!
The tempo, the rhythm, doesn't matter who's on the pitch because they come in with an identity and an idea of how they want to play.
No Zelerian, no problem. What a performance!
One Club is the idea that we're going to be aligned from the top down. So in a very simple sense, the one word we just described it is alignment. So from a soccer perspective, are we aligned in terms of the way we play the game, the way we teach the game? Are we sharing ideas? Are we getting in a room and discussing the periodization of a player and his developmental path from the academy to Crew 2 in the first team?
Still free and a goal. What a debut for Taha Habru, his first professional goal.
So the purpose of the One Club meetings that we have is to create a feeling of integration and togetherness within all aspects of the staff and the organisation. We tend to meet formally monthly, where we have a host of guest speakers, both internally and externally. Speakers we've had so far have been on individual player development, mental performance, appearances from our first team staff to talk about seasonal goals. But perhaps most importantly is the outcomes. So from them have spurred really interesting projects such as our player profiles, our ages and stages of development, as well as how we play as a club throughout the academy through to the first team. Yeah, so a good example of the work that we've done so far in the One Club meetings is on the club player profiles, where we have very specific profiles now for each position. They link to analytics, to aspects of data, to the positional profile themselves in terms of the effort, audacity and intelligence of the player. And we use those for our first team scouting, for academy scouting, but also in terms of the development of the player, in terms of their individual development plans. So as you can imagine, it takes a whole host of people within the organisation to put these together and to collaborate.
One example of where One Club came to life last year was this measurement of the style of play between Crew 2 and the first team. And there was a ranking across the league that measured the matching style between the first team and the second team, and we were at the top. And it was nice to see that what we were doing in the classroom and on the field actually shows up in the games, it shows up in the numbers. Again, we have a lot more work to do to maintain that, but it makes it easier for players to move from Crew 2 to the first team if there's an alignment on style of play. And we felt like there was an affirmation of that in the data last year, as evidenced by this report.
The MLS Next Pro 2022 MVP tucks it away beautifully.
Traditionally around the world, certain individuals as a club have held a lot of influence, and maybe perhaps too much influence, which can create instability if that person or persons were to leave the club. The idea here is that it's shared across the entire club, One Club, and the club is the most important thing rather than one individual. When we move on from a player like Lucas Zelerian in last summer's transfer window, we have a process to, I don't want to say replace Lucas because he's irreplaceable, but the club and the team are more important than any individual. And so our ability to not only compete and perform at a high level without Lucas, but actually improve was evidence of this One Club approach and Wilfried's belief that the collective group, when working together, is the most important aspect to being successful.
It's over! The Columbus Crew 2023 MLS Cup champions!
Extending the idea of One Club beyond our doors is important because ultimately it's about bringing people together and unifying around the game of soccer, around the club that we all love, to do something special and to create emotions and to really embolden the community to be better. So the One Club philosophy and the energy around it transcends the club at this point, and it's really a powerful force with how we connect in our community and with our initiative in and around the city and beyond.